think that people, I mean, when I was telling you about my interest in what in the world's going on and where the future's headed, and you said to me, that's not what we're about. And what the point you wanted to make is that we're about entertainment, and we're about technology in the service of the entertainment that we create, right?
We're about putting stories into the culture.
We're about putting stories into the culture.
That's what we're about, telling stories. And, you know,
and you've got a different paintbrush and you've got a different canvas than everybody else does, or it's a more advanced, it's a better, it's a more something.
I'll let John speak to this, but I know a lot of people at Pixar, our heroes are Disney. I mean, look at what they've done. We've all got young children, and our kids watch these Disney films, and they learn a lot from these Disney films, you know, about good and evil and right and wrong, and, you know, they're entertained all along the way.
It's a great storytelling.
It's incredible
vehicle.
What they've done.
Before I ask you my next question, what's the biggest ever success in animation? Huge.
Lion King.
Lion King. Lion King
far and away.
broke all the records.
Yeah, far and away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Aladdin is right after that, and then Toy Story.
And there's a lot of difference in terms of the way Lion King was made and the way Toy Story was made.
Yeah, but
a world of difference.
And yes and no.
And nothing different about what came out of the head of the animator.
Right. It's the process is very much the same in the development of the story. Animation is very different than live-action filmmaking.
When you think about I remember there's not much political satire on American television.
Mm-hmm.
Some political satire can be done in animation in an interesting way because you can use characters. You could do this if you had a good storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
You had great writers.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably do it faster and quicker and more interestingly.
Well, political satire is interesting. Is what Steve was talking about. It quickly becomes dated.
Oh, I see. So therefore, you don't have the payoff.
You know, what we try to do is make stories that will last on. That's why the choice of all the existing toys in Toy Story. There's Mr. Potato Head. There's Etch-a-Sketch, Magic 8 Ball. It's the things that we had as kids. The kids still have today.
And what happens after the contract with the 3-picture deal with Disney goes?
You know, we love working with Disney. It's a fantastic partnership. So you know, who knows? Maybe we'll put something together to keep making films with them.
Okay. I want to talk about the business, overall business, which you know something about the computer business too. How do you feel about what's happened to Apple?
You know, all the work we did at Apple lives on. It lives on in the Macintosh, and now it lives on in Windows 95.
Yeah, of course it does, but yeah, but that's interesting to say, and clearly it does.
Yeah.
But it's Windows 95, it's Microsoft, it's not Apple.
Right, but it's still the work. It's still the innovation. So
did it have to turn out the way it did?
It's hard to predict these things. I mean,
yeah, come on, Steve, you've thought about this. This is not a subject that's unfamiliar to you.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of ancient history to me right now. I don't really think about this stuff anymore. And Apple and Microsoft duke it out, and Netscape and Microsoft duke it out. And to me, it's a spectator sport at this point.
Do you care about it? Do you have any interest in it? Does the ideas does the internet mean anything to you?
Sure, the internet's great. I mean, I look at it.
Do you use it? Do you care about it?
I use it every day, and I do care about it, and I think it's phenomenal what's happening. The internet is clearly the most exciting thing in the computer business. But right now, I look at the computer business mostly as a consumer at Pixar, you know, because we are one of the largest consumers of computing in the world. And we use it to make our films. So,
yeah, but also, I mean, I hear you, and you clearly, I mean, if you understand marketing very, very well, that was your genius in the beginning, yes? You understood the concept and you understood marketing. You'll grant me that. Question is that when you look at Pixar, you seem to be saying to me and to you and John together, my company's misunderstood. It's not a computer company. It's a filmmaking company, you know.
Right.
I mean, and that's sort of you realize that in terms of some maybe truth, but also in terms of some marketing savvy, we got to make sure that we got to get this word out that this thing is about entertainment and it's not about computer. We don't want to be characterized like everybody else, you know, and part of your effort and part of your reason for appearing here and et cetera.
You know, I think we definitely want to get that word out, but I have this incredible confidence that the word will get out, and as we make more films, we'll demonstrate that by our results. So the interesting thing is when these films take 4 years to make, and they last for 60 or 100 years, you start to develop a longer focal length point of view than just the next 6 months on
But
things.
here you are. You went from Apple, where you made a lot of money, and then Scully came in, and you left, and bum, 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 bum. And then you went to Next, which was never quite as much as what people thought it might be.
Right.
But those
It's coming back now.
Well, I know. I understand that. I do. And now, but your head seems to be into filmmaking. But you started this. You went to see George Lucas because you're out there as an entrepreneur looking for ideas.
Right.
Right. And so all of a sudden you get involved in this idea, and now you're saying, I'm in the entertainment business.
I did a good job of brainwashing.
Yeah, you sure did. I was going to say, you really did a number on this guy. You should be.
I did a good job of brainwashing. Yeah, you sure did. I was going to say, you really did a number on this guy. You should be.
I mean, he bought it, didn't he?
Story and
He believes. He's a believer.
Character.
He's a believer.
I know he is.
I mean, he bought it, didn't he? Story and character. He believes. He's a believer. Character. He's a believer. I know he is.
Yeah, I got into this because of the technology at the beginning.
It excited you?
Oh, it blew me away. I mean, we have more PhDs work on Toy Story than any film in history. I mean, tremendous computer science. That's what drew me into it initially. But John's right. He educated me that what we are really about is storytelling.
He didn't use the word educate, Steve. He said brainwash.
And it's been 10 years.
Educate.
Educate's better, isn't it?
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
So
when the day that stock went public, because it'd been 10 years.
Pixar stock.
Yeah, Pixar. Because you'd put, I don't know, what, 50, 100, how much of your own money did you put into it at the beginning?
a little over 50 million.
50 million. All of a sudden, because it's the way to take notice, not because you needed $1 billion, all of a sudden, after 10 years, there was a recognition by the marketplace that this had been a wise, fruitful, productive fruition. Yeah, am I going to come back and interview you in 5 years and find out you're in some other business and you're not in the entertainment business, you found some other well to go fishing?
You know, I tend to stay where I start until somebody kicks me out.
Thank you for coming. Great to have you here. Thank you very much, Steve. Thanks, John. Pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.